Hello, Robs. We're back with new book arrivals, number 228. I went to the thrift store again since I had such good luck earlier this week. To the same thrift store, and I got, what do I get? 13 books? 13 books, plus I got 5 free ones at the library where I went to buy some books, but there was nothing I wanted, though. They had 2 racks of free stuff, which I got. And let's start with this one. 7 Theories of Human Nature. Let's see if we can get that glare off there. That's kind of annoying. 7 Theories of Human Nature. Christianity, Freud, Lorenz, Marx, Sartre, Skinner, and Plato. And since Trousered Apes, which I've been reading, mentioned Sartre in the last chapter in regards to, what's his name? Who's that bastard that wrote? Oh, Camus. I was like, yeah, that kind of fits right into it. Don't really know what the book's about. Obviously, it's about human nature, but I mean, this is a rather small book to encapsulate 7 theories of human nature. Maybe 7 outlines, but 7 theories? I mean, it's hard to know what to expect from that book. Max Weber, The Protestant Ethic and the Spirit of Capitalism. I already have this book in some form, I believe, though it's not this edition. This kind of looks like a Dover. Yeah, it is a Dover. Probably end up selling this one if I do have the exact same copy. I don't know if it's the same exact book or if it's a different version of this. I don't recall it being The Protestant Ethic and the Spirit of Capitalism, but I have a Max Weber book on capitalism. And don't really know much about Max Weber. Sounds German. Blah, 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 blah. The Protestant Ethic, a moral code, stressing hard work, asceticism, and the rational organization of one's life in the service of God, was made famous by sociologist and political economist Max Weber. In this brilliant study, his best known and most controversial, Weber opposed the Marxist concept of dialectical materialism and its views that change takes place through the struggle of opposites. Led-Zeppelin, the definitive biography by Richie York. This was in a free bin, not a bin, but a free rack at the library that is near the thrift store I go to. Generally, I get a few books there, but they had nothing I wanted today. But the free racks were overloaded, which is because they charge $2 for a hardcover and $1 for a paperback, and a lot of people just say no, not paying it. And that's why I usually get less than I used to there. But a free Led Zeppelin biography, I'll take it every time. Pilgrim's Progress, Themes and Issues. This is not Pilgrim's Progress, which I'm now looking for since Ellie McCullough's last diary entry, the very last one she made in, December 27th of 1874, mentions that she was reading Pilgrim's Progress and had been reading it all afternoon. A book that I'm not too familiar with, although I did a video on it, I believe. Maybe I didn't. But yeah, now I have some explication on the book itself. The Titanic Survivors Book Club, a novel, which I normally wouldn't get, but I do have a few books on the Titanic, and now I have a fiction book to go with it. I probably shouldn't start another collection, but I've already started it inadvertently. So, I guess, this book's brand new. Crazy. Did not know that. I just picked it up as a lark Oh, what do you know? I may be able to sell it. Then I won't have another book for the collection. I have no clue about Timothy Schaeffer. It could be worth nothing. It could be worth $20 as far as I know. Henderson's Light, Drinking, Driving, and a Deadly Encounter. I believe this was a story from like the 1950s of Birmingham, Michigan. There it says, the kids had it all. Nice families, a good school. They lived in a pleasant upper middle class neighborhood in Birmingham, Michigan, which is really affluent. A lovely Midwestern town. I don't think in the 50s it was as affluent as it is now, but I could be wrong. Then everything went terribly wrong. 5 youngsters went out for pizza one evening. On the way home, their car was broadsided by a Ford convertible whose driver had been drinking. 3 of the kids and the driver of the convertible died in the crash. The 2 boys who survived sustained terrible injuries requiring many months of treatment. Jack Torrey was a teenager himself at the time. He saw the destroyed cars, heard the stories of the crash and its consequences. Some 40 years later, Jack Torrey went back to Birmingham and interviewed the victims' families, teachers, friends, and other members of the community involved in the crash. What he discovers is that the pain, anguish, and suffering continue to take their toll on the victims and their families for many years following the accident. The book is a riveting exposition on what happens when drinking and careless driving culminate in fatal accidents. I got it for the local history appeal, but it would be interesting to look up, see if there's any articles on this besides this. Diamonds and Headlines, or Deadlines, I should say. A Tale of Greed, Deceit, and a Female Tycoon in the Gilded Age by Betsy Priolu. Let's see who this woman is. This was a free book. I don't know if I said that already. Let's see who this woman is. Among the fabled tycoons of the Gilded Age, Carnegie, Rockefeller, Vanderbilt is a forgotten figure, Mrs. Frank Leslie. For 20 years, she ran the country's largest publishing company, Frank Leslie. Wait, is that the fucking guy's Christmas book that I was reading? Is it? Holy shit. Hold on. Let me see. What the fuck? I can't believe it. That's insanity. This has puts a new layer of intrigue on this. For 20 years, she ran the country's largest publishing company, Frank Leslie Publishing, which chronicled postbellum America in dozens of weeklies and monthlies. A pioneer in an all-male industry, she made a fortune and became a national celebrity and taste maker in the process. But Miriam Leslie was also a byword for scandal. She flouted feminine convention, took lovers, married 4 times, and harbored unsavory secrets that she concealed through a skein of lies and multiple personas. Both during and after her lifetime, glimpses of the truth emerged, including an illegitimate birth and a checkered youth. Diamonds and Deadlines reveals the unknown, sensational life of the brilliant and brazen empress of journalism, who dropped a bombshell at her death. She left her entire multi-million-dollar estate to women's suffrage, a never-equaled amount that guaranteed passage of the 19th Amendment. In this dazzling biography, cultural historian Betsy Priolu draws from diaries, correspondence, genealogies, and published works to provide an intimate look at the life of one of the Gilded Age's most complex, powerful women and unexpected feminist icons. Ultimately, Diamonds and Deadlines restores Mrs. Frank Leslie to her rightful place in history as a monumental businesswoman who presaged the feminist future and reflected in bold relief the Gilded Age, one of the most monumentous, seismic, and vivid epochs in American history. I thought I read that his paper was almost broke and that she had to take on his name at one point just to keep the copyright alive. It's crazy. I had no idea that this book was about her. Or did I know anything about her? I don't really know anything about Frank either. That's crazy. It's unbelievable that I found this book. It's even more unbelievable. So did she marry after Frank died? I thought Frank was like in his 60s or 70s. What's going on here? It's almost too good to be true. Yeah, that's Frank Leslie's. He had numerous papers. I don't understand. This is crazy. Anyway, that's unbelievable, honestly. Ghost of the North Coast. Legends, mysteries, and haunted places of northern Ohio. Dreadful place, Ohio. I've not been to Ohio in quite a long time, 3 or 4 years. And if I have my druthers, as they say, I will never go back again. Legends, mysteries, and haunted places of the North Coast. Cheers and happy hauntings by Jennifer Diazma Teed to Kathy and Tim. There's my ghost stories. I mean, I wonder if this is like Cleveland area. It's more towards Erie. Yeah, so that would be more towards Cedar Point-ish and Cleveland. The Five Gates of Hell by Rupert Thompson. This is just another of the freebie books. I have no concept of what this is. Welcome to Moon Beach. It's a city built on the business of burial. Funeral parlors are everywhere, low-rise like fast food chains, high-rise tenements. But just as death is a way of life in Moon Beach, life there shows all the signs of corruption and decay, weird sex and graphic violence, innocence, guilt, and a world where corruption bubbles beneath the surface. David Lynch in print arena. So I don't know if I'm guessing this is not for young adults, huh? Or is this just stories? Is this a book of stories? Rupert Thompson. 1998. Anyway, I don't know anything about it, but it was free, so I could not pass it up. Back to the thrift store books. Dr. Zhivago, Boris Pasternak. One of the people I follow on YouTube, a book lady, said this book was awful. She did not like it, but I'm never going to read it, so it doesn't matter to me. I probably already have a copy of this, but what is that? What is it, bruv? Is it part of a letter? Probably own some. Frequently, you will receive full books. Looks like from a book club membership thing. Like I said, I think I already have a copy of this, but since I don't keep track of my hardcovers, it's possible that I don't. Old Yeller by Gibson. Fred C. Gibson, I believe. I know the Fred Gibson. I know the premise of Old Yeller, but never read it. Probably never will. We'll sell this if I can. 1956. It's in good shape. Doesn't appear to have any musty basement smell like most of these sort of books do. Nah, it smells great. It's in good condition. If I can sell it, I will. But I got to get to that point where I actually sell it, which probably isn't going to happen anytime soon. Loretta Lynn, Coal Miner's Daughter. I found this, one of the last books I found at the thrift store, and wasn't particularly interested in it until I saw this. The ex-library plate of Doreen Bukovic, And so I had to get it. Plus, it is, I think, a first edition, even though it's got some Garflingus on it. Could probably sell this, although that it has the plate in it makes me not want to sell it, but at some point that plate's got to become irrelevant to me. Not particularly interested in Loretta Lynn's career or music. TV Land, Detroit. A book I already have, but this book does have some value. As well as some sentimental value, since Detroit television was good back in the day, but now I don't even have a television, so obviously I wasn't around for Soupy Sales. When did they come out? The 50s? I remember some of it, but most of what's in here predates my existence. But yeah, cool stuff. Agatha Christie, a biography by Janet Morgan. Actually, might read this on this channel. Withdrawn from the Baldwin Public Library, which is fine by me. But, what does that say? Something what? Let's see what that is. I love you. Okay, thanks, buddy. It's awful nice of you. This was a free book I picked up at the library. One of the 5. Obviously, it's a biography on Agatha Christie. Like I said, I may read that on this channel. The Rainbow by D.H. Lawrence. Not something I would read or am interested in. Literary romance. But it's a classic in the terms of the sense of it's a classic. Not a classic to me, but I will accept it for 50 cents. Here's the last of the free books, I believe. Yeah, I bought that one at the store and that one too. Okay. The Hour I First Believed by Wally Lamb. Don't really know anything about it, but the name comes up frequently on YouTube. And I believe this actual book may come up as well. The Hour I First Believed. It looks like oh, look, it's wrong way inside the jacket. Looks like a book club edition since it's the smaller sized hardcover. What year? 2008 Time Inc. There you go. No, that's just from there. 2008 Wally Lamb. Not a big novel reader. There's a thrift store pickup. Tom Clavin, The Last Outlaws, The Desperate Final Days of the Dalton Gang. Don't look at that. Is this even mine? Yes, it is. You can look at it. No, this isn't mine. Can't be because I gave... No, it is mine. But it's cash, so there's no information. Stephen S. was my cashier. Paid $6.50 for... How many books? 13? Yeah, they're 50 cents a piece. I don't know why they do the quantity of one. But that's how they do it nowadays. Who are the Daltons? I believe they were Midwest, weren't they? Or Plains. On October 5th, 1892, the Dalton gang attempted their boldest and bloodiest raid yet, robbing 2 banks in broad daylight in Coffeyville, Kansas, simultaneously as Grat, Bob, and Emmett Dalton and Bill Power and Dick Broadwell crossed the plaza to enter the 2 buildings. The outlaws were recognized by townspeople who raised the alarm. Citizens armed themselves with shotguns and six-shooters from nearby hardware stores and were locked and loaded when the thieves emerged. The ensuing gun battle was a lead-filled firefight of epic proportions. As the smoke cleared, 8 men lay dead, including 4 of the 5 members of the doomed Dalton gang. And lastly, a very interesting book, The Diaries of Adam and Eve, translated by Mark Twain, illustrated by Michael Mosier. They weren't actually translated by Twain. To the reader who knows Mark Twain as the creator of Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn, The Diaries of Adam and Eve will come as a revelation. Written in his last years, extracts from Adam's diary and Eve's diary combine Twain's humor with a revealing tenderness not found anywhere else in his writings, as it was only in Eve that he ever wrote from a woman's viewpoint. I'm not going to read any of it, but I probably will read this book. I've never even heard of it. I don't think I've ever read anything by Twain. It is pleasant now, and I am happy. But those were heavy days. I do not think of them when I can help it. Cloudy today, wind in these. Think we shall have rain. We? Where did I get that word? I remember now. She. The new creature was it. What the hell is this? Maybe I won't read this. Anyway, that's all. New books.